Thank you, Ani. Thank you so much for putting this call together. And I'm so glad that you decided to walk on this journey with us and that you understand the vision here, and that is to spread this information to everybody all over the world. So thank you. And I want to thank Chris as well, because I spoke with Chris a little earlier today and he decided to partner with us as well. So I'm going to record this call so you all have a resource to go back to and share with other friends. But I want to thank you once again. So you can stop your video and stop your mic at this time, Ani.
Okay, I'm doing it right
Okay.
now.
So again, my name is Verdita Monk. I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia. And my husband and I are very excited about this information you're going to be hearing about. I'll kind of tell you a little bit about our journey and how we got started. My husband was contacted by a gentleman, a friend of ours, and he same kind of thing that Ani talked about, that he was going to, let me help you out, Ani. There we go. That he had this tiny little patch. I'm gonna show a picture of it. It looks like about the size of a quarter, thin like a Band-Aid, very, very tiny. And it operates like a Band-Aid. And he said, I want you to try this patch. And then he invited us to a call just like this one. And on the call, we heard some people with some issues that we could not relate to, because these people were talking about situations that almost like they were about to die. I mean, these people are in so much pain. And I said, wow. And it touched us, but that made us curious enough to try the patch. Once again, we didn't think it was for us. But we went on to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where my husband is from, the next day. And we got there. We noticed my mother-in-law, who was at the time about 92 years old, I'd never seen her complain about anything or any type of pain. But this particular day when we walked in, she looked like she was about to cry. She was rubbing her knee profusely. She said her knee was hurting so bad, and the doctor wanted to operate on her and giving her pain medicine. Nothing worked, and she just didn't want the surgery. She was probably afraid, but she was old, right? And so we said, we looked at each other and said, why don't we just try this patch on her? It's helping so many other people. So we put the patch on her knee and put her to bed. She would normally get up all during the night, rubbing her knee, putting ointments on it, whatever pain medicine she was taking, she said didn't work. We woke up the next morning and she said the pain was gone. She did not even get up in the night. Now, we just figured, okay, good. But it still made us curious about it. And we said, why don't we try the patch? So this is what happened. I'm going to save the testimony part later because I want to raise your curiosity about that part. All I got to say is that night, my husband and I decided we were going to wear the patch. I'm going to tell you the testimonial part of that a little bit later. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm getting into a PowerPoint presentation so you can understand a little bit more about this concept and why we're even talking about it. You see, there's a phenomenon going on right now with stems in the stem cell industry. Billions of dollars are spent on an annual, even on an annual basis, 2 billion, but billions of dollars have been spent for years on stem cell research. And the reason that came about was because doctors, they're always doing surgery, cancer research, all this. They're always trying to figure out the solution for something. So stem cell research is supposed to be the big thing, where it's going to solve all the problems. The problem was Dr. Lauren Picard, who was a scientist, he said that, and he proved this was the bottom line. There is no way to reactivate the dormant stem cells in our body. They were trying to think of a natural way to do it. They said there's no way to do it. But if anybody could come up with a way of elevating copper peptides in your body, particularly GHKCU copper peptide, that in turn was going to reactivate the dormant stem cells. And that's really significant because when you reactivate those dormant stem cells, that is the issue. So let me explain why all of this is important. Why is this important? Because by the time we're age 30, half of our stem cells go inactive. They become dormant. They're still there in your body, but they're not working. And by the time you're 60, almost all of them, 90% of them are dormant. And the reason that's significant is because stem cells make up the tissues and organs that our body is depending on to repair our system. We're supposed to heal naturally. Our body's supposed to heal itself. And that's only because God put stem cells in us. But if they're gone dormant, now we don't have anything to work with. So the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you're going to feel the effects of aging. And millions of people are experiencing effects of aging. And so we want to make sure you understand right now, this is not a drug or anything. So this is why we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. This is a technology that we're talking about. And so but we're not trying to say that this is going to cure everything, okay? This is how it works. First of all, it's a form of phototherapy. Let me explain phototherapy like this. When you go out into the sun, what happens? Your vitamin D is elevated. Your doctor will say, your mother will say, go get you some sunlight so you can raise your vitamin D. But do you see vitamin D floating in the air? No, it's no vitamin D floating in the air. It's already in your body. So when the light of the sun hits your body, it elevates the vitamin D. Same thing when you wear this patch. There are crystals in this patch made out of salts and sugars and amino acids formulated in an FDA registered lab. It's non-transdermal, meaning it is not penetrating into the skin at all. It's simply what's happening is when you put this patch on, these crystals that are in the middle, you can't even hardly see them. They call them nanocrystals. They reflect off of the light of your body. So we don't need the sun anymore because we already have our own light. We already have our own light. We have our heat already in our body. When we put the patch on, it elevates the copper peptides that are sitting there in our body. And when that happens, that miraculous part the doctor said they can't do, the stem cells are reactivated. Now, I hope you got the chills right now because that right there, doctor said they couldn't do it. The scientists said they couldn't do it. So there's no drugs or chemicals in this patch. This is why doctors love it. Many people that are really, a lot of people just don't like taking medications. They love this. And then it's 100% non-invasive, meaning it's not going to interfere with anything because it's nothing going into your body. These are crystals. They're salts and sugars. They don't penetrate in your body. Just lay on top of your skin and that's it. Okay. Now, here's the scientist that created this patch, who developed this patch. This man is a living genius. Now it says right here, he has over 180 patents. He now has over 200 patents. He spent 10 years and $4.5 million bringing this patch to market. You see, he started his career. Let me just tell you how brilliant he is. And he's been this brilliant for years. Back over 21 years ago, the federal government hired him to come up with a technology to help the Navy SEALs as they embarked upon a new project where they were going to be underground and they needed to be energized for over 36 hours at a time. That brought on his first invention called the Energy Enhancer Patch. It went so well that it started spreading, popping from doctor to doctor, and it ended up at Stanford University, and they tried this on their women's Olympic team, their swimming team, their women's swimming Olympic team. And that tells you right there, because elite athletes are not allowed, especially in competitions, to wear anything that is going to enhance their performance. And so I just told you, nothing goes into your body. It can't improve your performance because nothing is in it. All it's doing is a frequency that's elevating those copper peptides. So that's how far back he goes. And this is how brilliant he is and how well known he is. But see, they said you couldn't do it. So guess what he did? That's why it took him 10 years. He was determined to make this happen. This guy he's relentless, and he has so many things I couldn't even go into it. But here's the patent. See, it's patented. When you have something patented, it means you have proven it. It means that you've done all these tests to prove this works. And so let me read a little bit from the patent. It says this is a wearable phototherapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to the human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvement in strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. The non-transdermal apparatus reflects or emits specific wavelengths of light to elevate levels of the copper peptide GHKCU in the body. So you see how significant this is. No one else can compete with us. No one else can market this or develop this patch for 15 more years because the patent came out in 2020. Okay. Now, there are many, many benefits of it. You can read some of these on the page: increase strength, reduce inflammation, and energy and vitality, increase stamina. All of these things start, bothering you by the time you get to be age 30, right? But mental clarity, how many of us after we get a certain age start forgetting things? We go into the other room, we forgot where we put our keys. Why did I walk into this room? All of those things start getting better. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions. As we get older, many people, you notice they start shrinking, they start getting shorter because their skeletal system is diminishing. This patch is going to restore all of that. Improving of sleep. Now, this is where I want to share with you the testimony of me and my husband. So the night we put the patch on, my husband, well, first of all, let me back up. He used to suffer with a sleeping disorder, and he would snore and choke and cough all night for 10 years. And it just was terrible. I could not sleep in the same room. I did sleep in the same room, but I couldn't sleep. And so what would happen? He'd wake up in the middle of the night just choking. I would have to beat on his back because I didn't want to choke on whatever. I didn't know what else to do. I would just beat on his back. And so that very night that he put the patch on, I didn't notice anything because I was sleeping so deep. I was sleeping so deep, and that was because he was not snoring. He was not choking. He was not coughing. Woke up the next day and I said, wow, I got such a good sleep. And then we just put it on again the next night, and it happened again. That's when we realized the patch has stopped his snoring. Now, when I tell you this, first of all, it should raise your curiosity. Wow, it does all of that. But notice, we didn't even think there was anything wrong with us. And the fact that, it did something like that was just phenomenal to us. We had heard other testimonies, but when it happened to us, sometimes people have to see it happen for themselves. But I just want you to know it's working regardless. Improved skin appearance. I'm going to share with you some visuals in a moment of what is done for some people's skin. Okay, I want to remind you what I said about we're not diagnosing, treating, or curing anything, okay? Now, look at this right here. This is called a topography map. And this is where in one of the case studies, they took a 77-year-old woman, they placed the patch on the back of her neck, okay? They put it on the back of her neck. And in session 1, they looked at her brain, and this red-orange area reflects inflammation in the brain, lack of brain coherence. You see the brain is separated, is not working together. Session 2, 3 weeks later, there is no more inflammation, no more orange, no more red, improved brain coherence, okay? In the third session, 3 more weeks later, total of 6 weeks, she had a complete turnaround in her brain, you guys. Her brain, when she walked in, was hyperactive. And so this is what could be happening to your brain or some other people's brain, especially when they're acting, their brain is really unbalanced. We don't even realize what is called, but that's what's going on with people when they're not acting right, okay? So in the case studies, remember I told you there were 80 case studies. Here are the results in the case studies. This means this literally happened, okay? Now, in the first few days when you wear the patch, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Let me tell you why that's significant, because I know you've heard people say red wine is good for your heart. You've heard that, and it helps you live longer. Do you know how many genes are reset in 1 glass of red wine? Only 2. So 4,000 genes resetting in just a few days is very, very significant, is it not? Within 6 weeks, just like the lady on the previous page, remember it took her 6 weeks for her brain to become balanced? When people have PTSD, when they have Alzheimer's, when they have autism, children with autism, of course, they eventually become an adult, autism, just those types of things, those reflect someone's brain is unbalanced. This is why some people you don't even know, like people that are around you wonder, why did they act that way? It's because their brain is unbalanced, y'all. They can't help it. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. That means, the bones and the tissues that hold your body together, even your hair, your skin, your nails, all of that is reflection that your collagen, in this case, in 3 months is going to be increased. Within 6 months, you guys, your heart reverses in age. They say that for every 6 months we wear this patch, our heart is going to reverse in age by 8 years. I'll tell you an example of that. I have a lady live near me. Her name is Beanie. I didn't know she lived near me at first, but I know it now. This lady is in her 70s, and she went to the heart doctor. Maybe she had an issue with her heart. She didn't tell the whole story, but they took a vascular age test. And when they take that test, that's to see how old you really are according to your heart. They looked at the results and they said, something is wrong with the machine. It's not calibrated right. And she said, why do you say that? She said, because it's saying that you're 35 years old. And she said, oh, it's nothing wrong with the machine. I've been wearing this patch for 2.5 years. So if you think about it, 6 months goes into 2.5 years, 5 times. So if 5 times 8, we said it reverses your age by 8. 5 times 8 is 40. If she was, let's say, 73, and if you take 40 from that, that's 33 years old. They said she was 35 years old. That's an example. Plus, I also know people who had serious situations with their heart and no more. Okay. So David Smith said, this is not anti-age, you guys. This is age reversing. So how do you wear this patch? Very simple. You can put it anywhere on your body. It shows you right here below the belly button or behind the neck, because the in the case studies, they want to make sure that they're consistent. But you wear the patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off, so that your body can get a chance to repair and rejuvenate. Then you just throw it away. Why? Because you're going to get 30 patches inside this envelope, this beautiful packaging here. You're going to get 30. That means you have enough to wear every single day. You want to wear it every day, 12 hours on. If you wake up and put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning, take it off at 8 o'clock at night. Very simple. Here's what you must do though. Drink plenty of water. You got to be hydrated, because our body needs to, this is energy we're talking about flowing through your body, and water is going to help it penetrate and flow better. That's all you got to do. You don't have to swallow no pills. Like, I hate swallowing pills, but drinking plenty of water is the key, you guys. Now, let's move on, because we got to get to the good part. Listen, I want you to know, I want to share something with you now that I have it recorded. I want you to hear a live testimony of someone whose whole life changed as a result of this patch. Okay, so let me pull this up for you. Uh-oh, wait a minute, stop. Wait a minute, I did something wrong. One more thing. Okay. There we go.
Here in a couple of months, I know I don't look it, but we turned 60 and the body really has taken a toll. And I've just had my 18th surgery last December on my shoulder repair. I had 17 on my neck and my lower lumbar. The last back surgery I had last year was they put 2 rods in my back. So I've got a neural stimulator, wires running up to my neck. I look like the Terminator on the inside. So I was waking up. I was in pain every day, and I didn't for years, since 1998 actually. And then so didn't know what it felt like to be out of pain. And I tried everything. I've done everything from top hospitals, from Johns Hopkins to down in Orlando, Florida, and Tampa, Florida hospitals and doctors, and then everything. And I tried about everything, acupuncture, you name it, and still experiencing pain. And because I've been in Iraq and the things that I did, dealt hard with PTSD. And so my sleep over the years have been very poor. And when I say poor, on an average of 2 to 3 hours a night. 4 hours was a good night, where it was either the pain or reoccurring nightmares. And this has gone on for over a decade. So a few weeks ago, a pastor told me about the patches. And when he mentioned it, Bishop Larry Jackson, when he mentioned it, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Just send it. And he told me about the stem cells. I've heard about that, read about that prior. And so he called Miss Gwen and got the patches to me about 2 weeks ago. And I got an example of the X39, 49, and the Ocean Wave. I think that's what it is, Ocean Wave. So either way, I took a patch because I was really hurting that night and put it on my lumbar. And this is no joke. 30 seconds after putting that patch on, within 30 seconds, I was feeling no pain. I mean, I'm moving my hips around toward like I had a hula hoop on, just trying to make the pain happen. And there was no pain. And I couldn't believe it. And then but it was true. And slept fine. So ever since these last 2 weeks, and I keep a record on my phone, I have an app for my sleep, and how many hours, what's my REM sleep and so forth, how much restful sleep. Prior to these patches, my average time was between an hour and 50 minutes and 3 hours and 33 minutes of getting sleep per night. Since I've had the patches, I'm getting 7 and 8 hours a night. My PTSD, as far as the nightmares, I haven't had one nightmare in the last 2 weeks. So this patch is amazing. So amazing that my wife, who's an RN for 34 years, she's been dealing with nerve pain in her legs. She uses it and it's helped her tremendously. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it because it's true.
All right, so I just want to say really quickly that you heard what he said. He had every kind of surgery, stimulators, neurostimulators going up and down his back. He'd been in the best hospitals, but they tried everything for pain since 1998. And this was last year, 2024, I believe, when he, see, it says right here, 1 year ago, when he did this testimony. And Bishop Jackson, the same person that Onnie probably has spoken to, was the one that sent him these patches. Now, but he also heard him say he had PTSD. So the pain and the PTSD and some other things have happened to him since. So do you see how this has changed this man's life? I want to bring up one more testimony and then we'll get back to the presentation. And I hope everything goes well. Okay, let's try this lady.
About a year ago. I really didn't look into it that much. I was researching a lot of infrared and photo light therapy stuff, but I didn't definitely think this tiny could really have that much power. Boy, was I wrong. But anyhow, I actually hadn't really looked into it at first, but I had a few patients that had been using it. And while I was looking over their lab work, I didn't know they were using it, but I thought, this is really crazy. I don't normally see these numbers and these kind of lab results and people that are aging after, I've known these people since 2014. And I started to ask, like, okay, well, what are you guys doing? These patches. So after about the fourth person told me they were using the patches, I was like, I got to start looking into this more. So I started reading all the research and reading all the patents. Pretty dry reading, by the way, but I got through it after a few months, and I actually was going through some really bad stuff myself because I'd been in a car accident in 2021 where I had suffered a traumatic brain injury, and I had 3 herniated discs in the back of my neck. So I really wasn't wanting to see patients anymore. I was actually kind of really disgusted with the health and medical industry altogether. And I kept asking God to give me something, some other way I could share my own talent in life. And so these patches kept coming up. So I finally, after did the research, I was really impressed with David's work. I was just blown away with the technology and how he found it. And so I started wearing them. And probably, I guess that was the end of January this year. I had just suffered a really bad, migraine attack, which I had been having like every 4 weeks or so. I would be debilitated in bed for 4 days.
Okay.
The only thing that would get me out of it was having a Myers cocktail and a glutathione push and a CoQ10 shot. It was the only thing that ever worked. It was awfully expensive, but that was the only thing that got me back on my feet. So I kept doing that. After about 6 weeks of wearing this patch, though, I had one of my migraines come on. I actually decided to put an extra patch on my forehead or my temple, and I couldn't handle it there, but it ended up on my foot, and I thought, okay, God, whatever. It didn't bother me. I fell asleep, and about 12 hours I woke up, which I didn't normally fall asleep that easy. This was day one of me having one of these attacks that kept me in bed for a week at a time. And I woke up and I was like able to keep some food down. And by that afternoon, I was actually at a live music venue feeling like I wanted to do cartwheels because I couldn't believe I was there and it wasn't bothering me. So I was so excited. I'm still getting goosebumps on my head just talking about it because it was such a 2.5 years of this going on. I had gone through all kinds of other therapies, and while I made progress on other areas of my troubles, I couldn't get through those migraine attacks. So this has been an absolute godsend for me. It's been 5 months since I've had to have an IV. I haven't been in bed with a migraine for any amount of time. I think the worst headache I had, I was in bed for maybe 6 hours one time since then, and that's it. So, I mean, it's been awesome. And I just started sharing it. Obviously, I was like, heck yeah, thank you, God. This is it. This is really it. I kept saying, is this it? And then I get on and I find out my team is called This Is. But my dad was the most amazing, profound experience of all. He had been sent home with congestive heart failure in February. They said that they thought his kidneys and liver were shutting down. He was diabetic. He's been on insulin for 10 years. And so my mom called and said, send me some of those patches you're trying. So I did. That was March 1st. Within a week, his legs and feet, the swelling had all gone down. Within 3 weeks, he'd gone back to that liver kidney specialist where they told him they thought he might need to go get on dialysis. They did some blood work, redid his blood work. They told him, nope, you don't need to come back. Your liver and kidney function's perfect. On week 4, he went back for an echocardiogram of the patch, mind you. And they said all of his heart tissue is fine. No more congestive heart failure. They said, you don't need to come back. We'll see you next year. And then on week 5, when he went back for his regular annual checkup with his regular doctor, they took him off of his insulin. I mean, it's just like amazing. I mean, that just blows me away. Now, of course, I didn't even have any results within the first 6 weeks other than I was sleeping good and my skin's really soft. But it's like, that is insanely amazing. You know, I mean, he's 84 years old. So this.
All right, you guys, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed those testimonies. You know, the last one with that was a doctor who saw her patients feeling better. You heard that. But to see all those things happen with her father, when people are 80-something years old, all those things don't happen if they're under medication, under doctor's care. They don't get off of insulin. They don't, the swelling doesn't go down to their feet. If they got to go do dialysis, they're probably going to go. Those things don't happen normally. So it had to be the patch, and the man is fine now. So do you see why we're so excited and making sure we want everybody we care about to know about this, because we want you to share it as well. So let me get back to my presentation. And I told you I was going to share with you some visuals. You've probably seen people that have this condition called vitiligo, where there is no cure. There are treatments, but they're not doing what this patch does. But look at this. This is a adult man, so this means he's had vitiligo for a long time. But look at him now. It's all gone. Look at this lady, where, I mean, not that she was sick, but she had wrinkles all down here in her neck and around her mouth, and all around the crow's feet. She looks 20 years younger, if you ask me. Over here, she'd been wearing the patch for 3 years, and just wearing the patch, this is what happened to her. So we have a lot more, but I just wanted to give you a taste of what this patch is doing for everybody. Now, there's a website here called thisisit.info.com. You heard the doctor say she'd read everything. Where did she go? She went to this site because the patent is there. The case studies are there. There are all kinds of doctors' reviews at the bottom of the page. But if you click on this tab right here, you're going to see more testimonies similar to what I just shared. But over here, you're going to read about the patents and the case study. So this is a very comprehensive site. All you got to go is thisisit.info.com. And then, oh, by the way, let me back up a little bit. When you click on testimonies, you're going to see all kinds of conditions like neuropathy, neurological disorders, migraines, weight loss, heart, sleep, bladder improvement, inflammation, things that you probably will need to know about. And it'll be a testimony just like the ones I just shared with you. So let you know that people have been relieved of their situations by using this technology. And we spent quite a bit of time talking about health, just being free from all these issues that's going on in our body. But let's talk about financial freedom, because what good is it to be just healthy and that's all, but we're not healthy in our finances. We're not able to pay our bills, or we're not able to send our kids to private school or college, or just do things that we need and want to do because we don't have the finances. And then time freedom, be having the time to do what you want to do. So many people work really, really hard and they have the money, but they don't have time to spend the money. So let's talk about all of these, because this opportunity will offer you all of those. See, my husband and I, we thought we were in perfect health, but guess what happened? We felt, not only is his, sleeping disorder gone, but we're getting perfect. We're retirement age, but we're getting 100% perfect on every category, because my husband did not get those types of results when he went to the doctor. And now everything is perfect. Financial freedom. We both were very successful in our careers. We're talking about each of us into the six figures, but because for the last 2 years, we've helped about close to 7,000 people, spreading by word of mouth, help them become successful, so that, introduce the patches to them, so that we are not having to do our businesses anymore. We don't have to do that. I do a little bit here and there, but I don't do it normally because of the financial freedom this has offered us. And then the time freedom. We're able to do what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it. We're winning trips. The company's taking us to Greece, Mykonos, Santorini, Athens, Greece, Venice, Italy, all these places. Last August, November, we went to Punta Cana. Every place they sent us is always exquisite amenities. We just got back from Punta Mita, which is a fabulous area near Puerto Vallarta, but we win these trips because the company rewards you for helping people, and you'll hear more about that. So what I want to share with you now is, I know many of you are saying, I want to get those patches. I'm going to share with you how to get those patches in a moment. But if you could just give me a few more minutes, I'm going to tell you how you can be compensated if you decide to share this. Even if it's your sister you share it with, she's going to want to buy the patches, and the company's going to compensate you for doing that. But let's talk to you about Lifeway. That's the name of our company. Because of the exponential growth we're experiencing, we have spread to over 75 countries. And that is phenomenal, because David Schmidt, his vision is to touch 1 billion families. And the way he's going to do it is through us, sharing it with people. The reason he wants to reach that many families is because he knows it's going to change your life, you guys. So our company is growing exponentially. You see, back in 2021, prior to, the company was, I told you it's 21 years old now, but when the company first started, back in 2004, the company was doing about 20 million a year, because only doctors were selling these patches. They bought the patches and they turn around and sell them to their patients because they knew they were going to work. So the company's doing about 20 million a year by 2021. But when this patch came out, there were other patches. The X39 has only been out for just a few years. And when it came out just back in 2020 and got patented, that's when our team came on board, that they call the This Is It team came on board. The company exploded to 320 million just in 1 year, and 430 million 1 year later. Now the company is expected, back in 2024, went to 600 million. That was last year. This year is expected to reach $1 billion. That smells opportunity. That screams opportunity to me. So, whenever you look for an opportunity, did Microsoft call you when they were about to hit $1 billion? Did you get the call from Apple? Did they tell you this is about to be $1 billion company? Well, we're telling you right now, Lifeway is about to be $1 billion company. If you want a piece of it, we can definitely show you how to be a part of that. So how is this growth possible? It's because this is not a Me Too product. This is not weight loss or skincare or hair care that you can get anywhere. you know, on any shelf, in any drugstore, any grocery store, whatever. You can't get that. You can get that anywhere, but you cannot get the X39 anywhere except for one of our distributors. Now, our compensation plan is very, very lucrative, but we cannot make any promises for anyone. You know, the kind of money you're going to make is all going to be based on your skill set and your effort. We're here to help you. This is why I'm here, because I'm trying to make sure that anybody that's part of this team that wants to be successful, that's what I'm here for, okay? And so this form right here is just a reflection of what you can, of how you can get some of these patches. That's all it is. And for example, if you said, well, I just want to try one. I just want to try a 30-day supply. Now, let me just back up a minute. It is recommended. Remember those case studies where they say, you know, in 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. If you try this patch, and let's say you did it 1 week and you say, I didn't feel anything. Well, this is not always designed for you to feel something immediately. You don't know what the body's going to do for you, because this is not a drug. It's taking its time to figure out what, you know, it's reactivating stem cells. So you got to give it a chance. So if you do one sleeve, it's just saying, it basically is saying, I don't know if I believe this, but I will let you know there's a 90-day money back, 100% MAC money guarantee. So you can try the one sleeve for $149.95. That's the retail price. The preferred customer price, that's a person who says, I don't know about the money part. I don't know if I'm interested in sharing it with anybody, but I do want to use the patch. I believe what I heard those testimonies. I'm ready to go. We'll give that, let you get it for $99.95, which is the wholesale price. You just got to pay an annual fee. It says $19.95 here, but it's $25 annually so that you can get it at wholesale. And you'll get some, you know, freebies, you know, gifts along the way for being a preferred customer, saying you want to do it on a monthly basis. But now those people who really buy into the idea, understand the science behind this, and really want to make sure they have enough to work with, as well as some to share, they may want to get one of these packages. Let me break the packages down. See, the packages are like this. The core package is for the person that says, you know, I want me and my wife to start wearing these patches. And, you know, I'm going to get the package that has 3 in it. So that's enough for you and your wife, and maybe another sleeve that maybe you want to share with some friends. For $295, that gets you the core package. And these are the packages that we offer to people who want to be brand partners, meaning they don't mind sharing it and getting compensated to do it. The advanced pack is $535. That's for the person who knows they want to be a business builder. They're going to get 6 of these sleeves, but they're going to save $65, because what is 6 sleeves supposed to cost? $99.95 each, right? So they would normally be $600. So you're going to get it for $535. That automatically saves you $65. But this will also allow you to be positioned to get promoted to our first rank in the company. That's what the advanced package will do for you. The premium package is for the serious entrepreneur. You see the vision, you believe in these patches, and you can't wait to tell everybody you know. See, this package is going to give you 20 sleeves. In other words, it should cost $2,000, but because you're getting the package deal, you're going to save $250. And that's an average of $87.50 a sleeve. Now, because you're in a position to earn money, if you want to be qualified to earn money, you need to stay on what we call a monthly subscription every month, because that's what qualifies you to earn money. Now, the first, after your first month, the next month, let's say the day is what is the day? May the 12th. So the 12th of June, which is, I guess it's the 12th, 30 days from now, 31 days from now, the company will, if you set yourself for a monthly subscription, you'll get another sleeve. And you know, what is this saying right here? 6 sleeves. Okay, $89. This is regarding the advanced pack. But that one sleeve is going to cost you $99.95. That's going to allow you to keep your points. I'm going to tell you about your points in a moment, okay? I haven't told you about points yet. I just told you what it costs to get these packages. You get to keep your points, and you get to stay, you know, active so that you can earn money. A person who wants to maximize the potential in the comp plan needs to get 2 sleeves a month. That's $200. And we're, you know, working to make sure that you're where you don't have to come out of your pocket, because we're going to show you how the money is made, okay? So now you're on your auto ship. Let's talk about break this down. The retail customer, when somebody gets this sleeve, they pay $149.95. The company pays you $50. It's going to come digitally to you. It's going to go to your bank account. And then you're going to get 77 points when they place that order, okay? Now, remember about the points. The preferred customer is the one who gets it every month, and they pay $99. They pay wholesale for it. You're going to get $20 every month. So if they stay on it for a year, that's $240 you made because you introduced it to this person one time. And every time they do that, you get 43 points. Now, the people who get these packages, for example, the core package, when they pay for the core package, you'll earn $35, but you'll also get a whopping 180 points, okay? The person that gets the advanced package, you make 75 and you get 300 points. The premium package, you get to earn $405 and you get to earn 745 points. Now what are we going to do with these points? They go into what we call our binary. It's a way that we put all these points into this system, and I'll show you that in a moment. But as your volume, as you start earning money in the binary, you can earn all the way up to $25,000 per week. This is weekly bonuses. If you get to the top position, which is senior presidential director, my husband and I are fortunate to be at that rank, you can earn up to $25,000 per week as a senior presidential director, okay? Now, this is the binary. The binary is a structure where I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say this is you. Let me see who's on this call. Let's say if Andre Carson, I see you on the call, and let's say that Andre gets started. He says, I'm ready. How can I get some of these patches? And Andre comes on board and he introduces, this is you, Andre, and you introduce your sister, and she falls on your left side, and then on your right side, you might tell your coworker about it, and couple more people. Now that you've got 4 people, this is just an example. These people that fall on your left side, let's say Andre brings another person in, they have to fall under the last person. If Chris or Onnie, which are the ones who start in this team, let's say Onnie brings a person in and his next person, he puts them on his right side, they have to fall under the last person here. In other words, you and all these people here are going to always get paid on everybody that comes in under the bottom. So in other words, you're getting paid on people you don't even know who these people are. They start falling in the binary, and that's why we call it the team commission, is because everybody contributes to the volume, okay? Everybody's contributing to the points and the money you're going to make. But the reason what we want to do immediately is get you to this position, which is called manager, which means you've got 4 people who bought one of those packages, 2 on your left and 2 on your right, or you have accumulated, and you must have accumulated 300 points total of your own, or you need the advanced pack, either one. And the reason you want to do that is because it's going to set you up for the next way we get paid, which is my favorite part, which is called the matching bonuses. See, the matching bonuses allow you unlimited income potential. Now, let me clear something up. In the binary, you get paid to infinity. There could be 1,000 people under here. You're going to get paid on every single person, every order they place, every time they enroll somebody, everything. You're going to get paid on them. But look what's going to happen under the matching bonuses. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, Andre, you introduced this to me, and this week, I go out and earn $1,000 in the binary. If I earn $1,000 in the binary, the company's going to give you 25%, except the company's not going to take the 25% from your 1,000. It's going to give you 25% on top of my 1,000. In other words, you're going to make $250, and I'm going to make 1,000, and you're going to make $250 just because you introduced it to me. That's why you must be a manager to get this pay on the first level. The second level, if I make money in the binary, that means I must have told some people about it, right? So the people that I introduced it to, they're on your second level, Andre. If these people, let's say they earn 1,000, you're going to make 200. And the people on the third level, these people introduce the people on the third level, and let's say if they made 1,000, you make 200. So 3 levels of matching bonuses, you guys, and it adds up very well and very quickly. It is very, very significant. So I told you we're part of a team called This Is It Team. If you go to this website, you're going to learn a little bit more about the compensation plan. There's videos, there's breakdowns. I just wanted to give you a quick overview. And so that's where, and also Digital Alliance one-on-one is another resource. Those testimonies that I shared with you, that's where I got those from. DigitalAlliance101.com, because our team, we do, our own private Zooms like I'm doing now. And when we record those testimonies, they go here on Digital Alliance. So that's a good rate. So you can write that down, good resource. Our business tools, sometimes when we give people some samples so they can try them. We running out and about, and we see somebody and we, and they in pain or whatever. I did this lady at the bank who was in excruciating pain, and I gave her some X39s and I put them in this envelope. So these are business tools that make you have a professional presentation. Also, this page right here just lets you know we're doing Zooms every day. This Zoom right here, we have a Zoom tonight on this number at 8 o'clock. And this would be the Zoom code at 733-910-1313, password 39. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. But then tomorrow night, I'm going to be presenting on this Zoom right here at 8 o'clock. This is where our team comes together. There'll probably be hundreds of people on that Zoom, and you'll get a chance to invite guests. That's the purpose of these Zooms, so you can invite guests. Please take a screenshot of that so you know how to get on there. So with that being the case, you guys, it is the time to make a move. You guys decide if you want to reach your dreams and goals. We really believe this is it. Not only are you going to be healthy, everybody around you, all your friends, relatives, everybody's going to be healthy if you spread the word. And if they believe what this technology is doing, and then we're going to show you how to reach your dreams and goals as well. With that being the case, you guys, I thank you all so much for your time. And